New reading location unlocked. A true enemies to lovers, and I love it. Why do I always end up crying? I am going to give this a very solid Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Laura, and in today's video we are going to be reading some books, specifically books that I think have the potential to be 5-star reads for me personally. I've picked a few different books that I want to read in this vlog, and all of them obviously I think are going to be 5-star reads for me, but all for different reasons. If you've been here for a little while, if you know anything about my reading taste, then you know I love pretty much anything within the fantasy genre, but more specifically anything that's sort of dark and gothic, that kind of vibe. But anyway, the first book that we are going to be reading for this reading vlog is one that I've seen pop up fairly recently, and the people who have loved it have very similar reading taste to me. Also, this book has dragons and vampires. Literally two of my favorite things. I'm sure some of you can probably guess exactly which book I'm talking about, and that is On Wings of Blood by Briar Bolin. Like I said, a lot of my mutuals have read this and loved it. They're raving about it. They're saying it's really good. It's got vampires, it's got dragons, and also the series is called Bloodwing Academy. So it's obviously in an academic setting. Another huge tick for me because I love anything dark academia, especially if it's like a magical academy, like Zodiac Academy, anything like that, I will eat it up every time. So on paper, this seems like the kind of book that I would rate 5 stars. Will it be 5 stars? I don't know, I guess we'll find out. So guys, you know the drill by now. Grab yourself a drink, get comfy, and let's get into this reading vlog. Okay, I just read the prologue. I'm guessing it's foreshadowing something that's gonna happen. Basically, he's talking about, I think, drinking her blood without her consent. Yeah, I'm sensing enemies to lovers to enemies again, but I guess we will see. Okay, so first chapter, one of the first lines is, I had died destroying a corrupt god in my own world. I had sacrificed to save the ones I loved. I'd gone willingly to my end. I'd gone with no regrets, and I had expected the end to stay the end. Fate was cruel. So basically, she's woken up in a different world, completely naked, on a pile of dead bodies. This legion of soldiers has turned up, and the commander, who also appears to be a prince, has basically taken her and is taking her back to Sangratha. Basically taking her back to his people. Someone mentioned something about her hair, saying she bore the mark. I'm guessing he's our MMC. So far, very, very intrigued about how this has started. This is a very, very strong start. I'm definitely hooked right now. Obviously, she's ended up in like the vampire world, and she is not a vampire. I think she's fae, and I'm interested to know more about her. If she's killed a god in her previous world, I can only imagine she's like crazy powerful. So I'm very, very excited by that prospect because I love a powerful FMC. It's one of my favorite things ever. I'm way too invested in this story right now to put this book down. So we're going to read another chapter. I'm already sensing he's going to be super possessive of her, but he's also being very mean right now, which we all know I love it when they're a little bit mean. Okay, I'm really glad I read another chapter. The scene has definitely been set. Essentially, what's kind of become apparent is dragons are extinct in this world, and they used to have dragon riders. She basically supposedly has the blood of the dragon riders. The lord of the vampires in this court, if you like, is the uncle of the guy who has rescued her, even though she didn't want to be rescued. She wanted to be left alone. His name's Blake. Medra Pendragon is hereby declared the second betrothed consort of Prince Blake Darkharrow. Second, so he already has a betrothed. This is not going to go well. She's literally just fallen into this world. She was naked, she was covered in dead bodies, and on top of that, now she's been betrothed against her will to a man she hates. Serious business. I'm scared for Medra. I'm sensing that this could be a true enemies to lovers as well, because she wants nothing to do with these people. But so far it seems like she's lost her powers. I hope that doesn't last too long, because I would love to see her show these vampires who she is. So I will catch up with you guys the next time I have an update for you. Okay, apologies for the lack of update, guys, because I'm now 15% in, but I've kind of just been squeezing in a little bit of reading here and there wherever I can. So I've been reading mainly when I've woken up early on a morning, and I've read like a chapter or two in bed. So I haven't really been able to vlog reading up until this point. So I'm now on chapter 6. Thoughts, feelings. Okay, so she's had her first day at the academy and things are not going to plan. She has not had a good first day so far, and I fear it is probably only going to get worse. I think the transition from how the book started to now being at the academy has kind of thrown me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, because I almost feel like with how it started, it made me think the characters were a lot older than they are, and then now I kind of got a bit of whiplash when they went to school. Does that make sense? The vibe that Blake was giving off at the very beginning of the book when he was introduced was like general, you know, she'd woken up on this pile of bodies after battling a god, and now she's started this academy. Like, I don't know. I was kind of feeling and picturing them as being older, like past school age. So then for them like to come back and then be at school, it kind of just threw me a little bit. I am kind of still getting to grips with that, because I feel like, especially Blake, he's only like 2 years above her at school. So I'm sure now that they're at the academy and things are going to start moving, like I'll soon get used to it. It just kind of threw me for a second just because of how it all began. I can't decide how the dynamic between Medra and Blake is going to go. I feel like she's going to keep battling him. I feel like he's going to fall first, although at this point it definitely seems like he hates her, and I love a true enemies to lovers, and this is kind of giving that. So fingers crossed that continues, because I love it when they hate each other, I can't lie. Or if she hates him and he's secretly obsessed with her, oh, that does it for me every time. I'm actually about to go to bed, so I'm not even going to read any right now. I just wanted to update you all before I went up to bed and let you know how I was getting on with it so far, and I guess I will see you guys the next time I'm able to pick this up and sit and read properly with you guys. I will see you then. New reading location unlocked. It is such a gorgeous day today, and I really need to get some more of this book read. So I thought, rather than sitting inside and trying to read today, I'm going to sit outside and read. I can't actually remember how far I was in the book the last time I spoke to you, but we are now 65% in. I'm on chapter 36. This book is longer than I thought it was, I'm not gonna lie, and I have been finding it a little bit slow. However, it is starting to pick up for me again now. I think because now we're getting some POV chapters from Blake, that's really hooking me. I'm really enjoying getting his point of view, getting his internal thoughts, and yeah, I feel like I'm definitely enjoying it a lot more now. I feel like at the beginning I was really intrigued. There was sort of a portion where it was a little bit slow for me and I wasn't sort of super motivated to pick up the book, but now I really want to get through. I really want to find out what happens, and I've heard the second book is even better. So the main characters still haven't given in to their feelings for each other yet. They still very much hate each other. So this is a massive tick for slow burn so far, because I love a slow burn. I will eat it up every time. I'm very excited to dive back in and hopefully get a good chunk of this read. So we're gonna sit and read for a bit now, and I'll let you know how I get on. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but basically she's making him jealous with one of his rivals, and his reaction to this whole situation is just so good. I am absolutely eating this up. Hi. I have some friends. Okay guys, I actually got a lot of reading done earlier. I ended up spending a lot longer in the garden than I initially planned to, but it was such a nice day and I thought, do you know what? I'm just gonna take it easy today. I'm gonna do some reading. Eddie was off work as well, so he went for a bike ride, and yeah, we just had a day where we let ourselves relax for once, because normally if he has time off work, it's like doing work on the house, doing this, that and the other, and we thought, let's make the most of the nice weather, because in the UK, we don't always get nice weather. So no, it was really nice. So I had a good couple of hours, and I'm now 89% in. I'm on chapter 54. So now we're in the portion of the book where there's like trials, and I'm just about to read the last trial. I love books with trials, so I love that there's trials included in this. There hasn't actually been any dragons yet, but I definitely think there are going to be dragons in this. Whether the dragons or dragon comes in at the very end of this book and it sort of ends on like a cliffhanger or what, I'm not sure, but that's what I think will probably happen, because you know, this whole time is sort of like, oh, dragons don't exist anymore, they're extinct, blah blah blah. Are they? I don't think so. Let me see how long it says I have left in the book. Okay, it says I have 51 minutes left in the book, so I'm definitely going to try and finish this tonight, because I need to do my reading wrap up for April tomorrow, and I really want to be able to include this in my April wrap up. Anyway, let's get some reading done. Oh, look at these two. How am I supposed to sit and get reading done when I've got that to contend with outside? They are so sweet. Every time I see one of the cows walk past, I swear it's someone walking past the window, and I'm like... Anyway. Why do I always end up crying? I don't know if I'm just really sensitive or what, but books always find a way to make me cry. He just said, tell me you love it when I kill for you. Say yes. Tell me you love it when I kill for you. I didn't ask you to kill anyone, but you could ask me, I mean. Okay. Okay, we are done. Thoughts and feelings. So I guess the big question is, was this a 5-star read for me? Unfortunately, this was not 5 stars for me. This was a solid 3.5, I would say. I definitely enjoyed a lot of this book. I'm very much interested in where the story's going. I feel like it was the execution for me. In theory, this should have been a book that I absolutely adored, and I can absolutely see why people have rated this 5 stars, but there's just a few moments in here for me that were kind of lacking a little bit, and it was slow in some parts for me. I really did enjoy the academic vibes, but I think it threw me at first because how the book started and then how they ended up being
at school. That just kind of threw me a little bit, how that was kind of executed. But there were a lot of tropes and moments in this book that I absolutely ate up. Like, there was so many bits in this I was like, yes. I really liked the FMC in this. I would have liked more backstory for her, because at the start of the book she's appeared in this world and she's left another world and she was supposedly really powerful there and had defeated a god or something. I was very hung up on that. I was very like, oh, that sounds really exciting. Like, I want to know more. And we didn't really get that. It kind of just went into her appearing in this new world and then just kind of getting on with things. And I will absolutely be picking up the next book because I've heard the next book is even better. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe this book was just kind of setting the scene and had all the major world building in it. Maybe the next book is going to be a bit more fast paced and more up my street. So potentially the next book could be a 5-star read, because I have seen people saying that the second book is even better. I just want to say as well that a 3.5-star read for me is still a good book. This is actually my Fable Book Club's book of the month this month, and I have seen such mixed reviews. I've seen loads of people rating it 5 stars and raving about it, and then I've seen a few people have DNF'd it or rated it really low. So it seems to be one where it's kind of like people are either loving it or really not liking it. This has definitely laid the groundwork for an amazing series, so I am excited to pick up the next one, but I do have a couple of books I will probably pick up before I pick up the next book in this series. And I think potentially the audiobooks will be coming out soon, so I may wait until the audio comes out because I do love an audiobook. So we'll see. But yeah, first book for this reading vlog unfortunately was not a 5-star read, but was a good read nonetheless. Okay, so it's time to pick up another book for my predictive 5-star reads, and the next book we're going to read in this vlog is Direbound by Sable Sorensen. This was kindly sent to me by Sable Sorensen. Bailey read this and absolutely loved it. I think she was literally 30% in and she was like, guys, you need to read this. It's going to be 5 stars. I can feel it. I'm so confident that this is going to be just so good. And so I knew immediately I had to read it. Me and Emmy are going to read it today because you've probably already watched this vlog, but we are away at the moment and we are going to be reading Direbound today as one of the things we wanted to do while we were away. So we're starting it together, and obviously I'll probably finish this at home, but I know I wanted to include this book in this vlog, so I'm kind of filming 2 vlogs at once. So we're gonna start this. I know nothing about this. I'm gonna go in blind. I mean, I know that it is about direwolves and bonding with direwolves. I haven't read the back, so we'll go into this blind together. So I've just got the little reading area set up and comfy, and we are gonna sit and read for an hour and see how many pages we can read in an hour. I will catch up with you after we've finished and let you know my thoughts and feelings. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Oh my god, this is so good! It's so good! So we've just finished our reading for an hour. Emmy, how many pages did you read?
I read 146 pages.
I read 95. I was reading like quite fast for me. I think normally when I'm reading, I'm not always like in. Well, no, I do get in, but sometimes I get distracted quite easily. Like, yeah, I'll be like, oh, I want to get a drink, or
well,
so it was nice to get locked in and like.
There were a few points where I had like visceral reactions where I was like, I looked at you and you didn't react. So I was like, she didn't see that. I'll pick that
up. No, I didn't.
I didn't read the blurb. Shall we read it for the viewers so they know what the book is about?
Yes.
Popcorn reading like we're in school. Okay, so when Merrin Cooper's sister is kidnapped by the enemy, Merrin enlists in the army, desperate to get across the border to save Sailor from their immortal foes. But she doesn't realize there are bonding trials this year, meaning all soldiers are forced to risk their lives to connect with a direwolf, and Merrin is thrown into the deadly competition.
Now, she'll need to survive the next 4 months of training at the castle if she wants a chance of finding Sailor, but Merrin is bound to a feral direwolf. What? Is that in the next chapter?
Yes.
But Merrin is bound to a feral direwolf who refuses to communicate. The other trainees would love to spill her common blood, and her gorgeous instructor, Stark Theron, is as malicious as the wolves himself.
Everyone is out to get her, everyone but the dangerously handsome Crown Prince Killian Valtier. Ooh! But if she loses her heart to him, she may also lose her life, and the castle is hiding dark secrets.
So this is like love
triangle?
Not even triangle.
But like, yeah, because
love square.
Reading the blurb of a book isn't a spoiler.
That's a lot of information though, because that's stuff that we don't even know yet.
I'm now intrigued by this prince.
Yeah, I feel like he's not going to be for me. I'm not a prince girly.
You're not a prince girly, but you're a Dorian girly.
He is the only exception.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Dorian is my only exception.
You never know, we haven't met this one yet.
And I do like the name Killian. Typically Killians I do fancy.
Yeah, God of Malice. Did you fancy Killian?
I loved it.
You psychopath.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think this could be 5 stars, absolutely.
I also think that this could be 5 stars.
I'm just sitting quickly to read another chapter because I finished at the second page of chapter 10. Oh, I've lost my bookmark. I have a picture of us that we just took with the Polaroid camera. That's my bookmark. So I got to like the second page, halfway down the second page of chapter 10, and Emmy said that she will not speak to me about this book until I read chapter 10. So I'm about to sit and read this and I will let you know my thoughts because it's a very short chapter. It's only a couple of pages, but Emmy says that it's good, so I need to read it. I'm getting like goosebumps.
This is really good.
Yeah. Guys, I'm literally covered in goosebumps.
Oh,
can you see?
I can see.
I'm literally covered in goosebumps. Oh my god, I'm glad you made me read that now.
Yeah.
Wow, that was insane. That was so good. Because I only read the first like page and a half of that chapter and I was sort of like, how can it, but that happened quite fast, but that was so like impactful. I kind of understand why people might compare it to Fourth Wing because the vibes of that was very much the vibes of Violet bonding with Tarn.
Yeah.
For me.
But it's so different. But like,
yeah,
there's nothing else we can really compare it to because it's so like unique.
No, I definitely wouldn't compare this to Fourth Wing in a sense. The story is similar at all, but the feelings that you get when you're reading Fourth Wing, those really sort of excited, powerful, like getting goosebumps, those are the kind of feelings I got when I read Fourth Wing. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because loads of people have been saying, if you like Fourth Wing, read this. I actually do agree with that.
Yeah.
But don't go in expecting it to be
like a Fourth Wing.
Fourth Wing, because
it's not.
It's wolves. So there's vampires in this as well, isn't there? Oh my gosh, this is like Twilight. Because, oh, except they're not turning into wolves, they've just got like wolf companions. Sit down. Sit down. We need to talk. We need to talk. Okay, so I've been doing a little bit of reading today in the garden. Not as much as I would have liked to have done, just because I was kind of trying to read while also trying to play with Honey, while also trying to deal with Eddie being there as well. A lot of distractions, so not a lot of reading. However, we are now 32% in. I've just got to chapter 18. I need to check in with you quickly because I'm loving this book. I don't know what's in this. I'm just really here for all the vibes it's giving me right now. And the FMC in this, guys, she's so badass. In one of the chapters I just read, she cut off her own hair, but like the circumstances surrounding it gave me goosebumps. Like I was like, oh my god, she is so cool. She's so badass. Yeah, I'm loving this. Honey's in bed, so I have the evening to read if I do so wish. I'm gonna jump on my walking pad and I'm gonna do some more reading and just see how much I can get read in like an hour on the walking pad. Okay guys, I'm jumping back into Direbound. It's been a little bit of time since I last updated you. The main reason for that is because I am really enjoying this, and I don't know if you guys feel like this, but I'm enjoying this so much that I want to make sure that when I have time to sit and read, I can fully dedicate myself to reading this and not sort of, oh, just pick it up here and there and read a chapter here and there. But it's going to get to the point where I'm just going to have to do that, otherwise it's going to take me forever to get through this book, and I really want to find out what happens. I am very much invested in this story, but I'm almost like saving savouring it. I really don't want to storm through this. I don't want to rush through this, but I've got a bit of time now. I just paused my YouTube editing that I was doing for another video that I'm editing, the sunshine, and I thought, you know what? I am going to go sit outside for an hour and I'm going to read. So I'm going to fill my water bottle up and then we'll go sit outside and enjoy some sunshine and do some reading.
Finally getting to a point where they're starting to work together, which is super exciting because there's been like this ongoing battle between her and her wolf, and like they're, you know, not on the same page and they're working against each other rather than together, but there's been sort of a bit of self-reflection, if you like, and now they're sort of starting to work together, and I'm really loving the start of their relationship, and I like can see how it's going to end up being just like so good. I've actually been out here for like an hour now and I'm now 44% in, so actually I think I've been out here just under an hour. I'm gonna keep reading for a little bit longer because I don't want to go back inside yet. It's so nice out here. I just want to make the most of the sun while I can, and if I have to, I'll just work later tonight.
That was so lovely. I ended up staying out for probably another 40 minutes and we are now 54% in. There was a minute there where it was a little bit slow, but I think that was just me getting back into it again after sort of putting it down for a little bit. Really, really love Anassa, the wolf, and I have heard a lot of people say that the FMC can be a little bit annoying, and I am getting a hint of that, but I think I almost need them to be a little bit annoying in the first book of a series because I need them to have the growth. Does that make any sense? Maybe not, but I want to see more of like how badass she can be, because I honestly cannot for the life of me remember if I told you guys about this, but there was a part in the book where basically someone had tried to kill her and they really messed with the wrong one, and I literally was covered in goosebumps when I was reading this scene. I was like, oh my god, she is so badass. I love her. But then she can just be a little bit sort of just not helping herself sometimes, and I just want to sort of shake her a little bit, but I think that's normal. But the wolf, Anassa, I absolutely love Anassa. And also I'm really loving how they're starting to sort of build a bit more trust at Anassa and Meryn. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to seeing their bond strengthen and grow. I will catch up with you guys the next time I pick up Direbound. Good morning, guys. It is currently 7 a.m. I have literally just got out of bed and come downstairs. I want to go on my walking pad for a little bit, but I have just been reading a little bit of Direbound in bed and I just stopped so I could come downstairs. We are 58% in. I don't want this to end. I really don't. I'm loving it so much. The slow burn. I mean, this is a love triangle. This isn't a spoiler because it's literally on the back of the book, but there's the prince and there's one of the instructors, and the instructor is called Stark. The prince is called Killian. Just listen to this description of the two of them. If Stark is a black hole, Killian is a luminous sun. Which one? Which one do you think I like? Obviously Stark. So with Stark, literally nothing, and I mean nothing, has happened between them, and I'm on my knees. I am ravenous for this man. He's so grumpy and moody and dark, and oh, he's my type. The tension is absolutely killing me, and I love it. I love it. I love that I'm being given almost nothing, but well, I'm obviously being given something because I feel like this. There's something I know that's probably going to be a plot twist, but it's fairly obvious to me, and it's going to be good. Obviously at this stage in the story where one of the love interests hasn't really properly entered the triangle and the other one's kind of there already, I'm very interested to see how the dynamic's going to shift. I'm very interested to see, as the series goes on, how the love triangle will be resolved. I guess one of them has to die or something extreme has to happen for the triangle to be resolved. I don't know how many books are planned for this series. I don't know if it's a trilogy. But anyway, I need to stop talking. I'm going to go for a little walk and do a bit more reading. Really don't want it to end. I'm loving this so much. Guys, I maybe spoke too soon. I think the love triangle is about to start love triangling. I love this book. Okay guys, we are going to sit and read some Direbound. I think it would be optimistic to say that I think I could sit and finish it tonight. However, we are 78% in. on chapter 45, and I stopped reading this morning when I was in bed because I had to take a minute because I was angry because Meryn has just made a really stupid decision. Did she listen? No, she did not. So yeah, I just want to I do like her. There's a lot of things I really like about her. There's just a few things about her that are really sort of winding me up, but my thoughts are still that this is all meant to be because, you know, she needs room for growth. So over the next book she's going to grow and become more mature, make better decisions, and we're going to end up being absolutely obsessed with her by the end, because from the beginning I was very much on her side. I really liked her. It's just a few of the decisions she's making now, but I do feel like she's maybe being manipulated and unaware of it. Anyway, I am going to dive back in now that I've had time since this morning to cool off, and hopefully we can get a good chunk read tonight. You can't beat a nice cold Pepsi Max. Oh, also, one of the MMCs calls her Kitten, and I don't know, the nickname Kitten, whenever it's been in books, it's always kind of icked me a little bit, and at first I thought maybe it was like I could try and make it cute because she was also kind of referred to as Alley Cat because of her fighting in the pits in like the first chapter or whatever. But yeah, just, it's not doing it for me. I knew it. I knew it. Oh, guys. Oh. Even though I guess these things, just the way they're executed, it's so good. I know I said I wasn't going to finish this tonight, but I'm now on 94%, so we're going to finish it. It says there's 28 minutes left. I cannot leave this now. I have to finish it. Okay, listen to this. Give me the word and I'll tear out his throat. All the lives I've ever taken were just training for this moment. Make me your instrument of vengeance. Let my hands act out your every savage, depraved thought. Use me, I'm yours. That was so good. I'm going to have a think of what I can put for my Goodreads review, because I find that if I can get it out in writing, it helps me then tell you guys my thoughts and feelings as well. Bear with me one second. I have avoided looking at the reviews for this just because I didn't want it to impact my feelings while I've been reading this, and I've just seen Mariana has rated this 2 stars. Mariana, why? So I'm going to go write my review and then I will check back in with you very shortly. Okay, so you guys already know that I am rating this 5 stars, but to put my thoughts together in some sort of way that is useful for you guys, I will say that in this book we have direwolves, bonding trials, mate bonds, we have some really good tropes like forced proximity, we have a bit of touch her and die, there's a love triangle, one of the MMCs is like dark and brooding and covered in tattoos and he's a little bit mean. You know the type. He's my type. I'm obsessed with that man. I feel like there's literally nothing more I could want from a book than what this book gave me. I felt like the world building in this was done really well, and sort of the right information was fed to you at the perfect times to sort of keep it easy to digest but also still keep it very interesting. I want to take a minute to talk about Anassa, our baddie direwolf. She was so good. I loved her. She was such a bitch, but like in the best way. I loved her so much. I will say Meryn, the FMC, was also really badass and I did really love her, but oh my god, I really wanted to just at some point, but that's okay because I know Anassa agrees with me. Meryn has such huge potential to grow throughout the rest of the series, and I am really excited to see how she sort of goes forward into the next book, because I feel like the end of the book was kind of like a pivoting point for her where she was really going to start sort of heading the direction that I know she has the potential to go. This was so much fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I had goosebumps at so many points in this book. I cannot wait for the next book to come out, although it's going to be a little while now because Direbound has been picked up to be traditionally published, and I'm allowed to tell you guys this now because by the time I post this video it will already be announced. But I am beyond excited for the authors. They deserve this so much. This is their first ever book. This is their debut novel and it is this good, so I can't even imagine what it's going to be like when it becomes traditionally published, and I just feel like people are going to love this book and I really want everyone to read this and experience this for themselves, and hopefully they love it too. Hopefully you love it too if you pick this up. But yeah, I'm gonna stop yapping now. I'm gonna get myself to bed because I've been reading for a lot longer than I planned to tonight. And then I will catch up with you guys when we pick up the next book for this reading vlog.
Okay guys, we are going to pick up another book for this reading vlog. And the next book we are going to pick up is Feathers So Vicious by Liv Zander. This has been on my TBR for, I don't even know how long. Probably over 2 years. I originally found it because of BookBeat. I saw it on BookBeat and I thought, ooh, that looks interesting. And then one of my very good friends who I used to work with, Liz, she read it and she said it was absolutely amazing, and me and Liz have very similar book taste. And so I was like, oh yeah, I definitely need to bump this up my TBR. Anyway, fast forward like another year and I still haven't read it. There's no reason I haven't picked it up yet, but I just feel like it's going to be one that I'm really going to love despite not really knowing anything about it. I know it's dark fantasy, and aside from that, of course, I know nothing because we all know I like to go in blind. I will say I don't think I'll be reading for long tonight because my eyes are absolutely on fire. Oh, my hay fever has been so bad today. So I think I'll probably just get it started and then I will definitely be doing the audiobook on BookBeat, but because obviously I need to use my BookBeat hours, and why not use it on that? And both of the books are on there. And I have spoken about this previously on my channel, but I do have a affiliate link for BookBeat that's usually in the description of my videos, which gets you a free trial if you do fancy trying out BookBeat as well. But anyway guys, that's enough yapping. Let's start our next book. Okay, so that was a pretty gory start. Also guys, I'm so sorry, my voice is really like awful and scratchy today because my throat with the hay fever. Anyway, so the beginning, yes, we kind of got straight into it and it's already quite sort of dark and a little bit gory. So our FMC is called Galantia, and the sort of opening scene to this book is basically her mum in labour. I can't decide if her parents are king and queen or if they're like a lord and lady. I'm not sure, but basically her mum was giving birth, and every baby before Galantia and every baby that her mum has had since her has all been stillborn, and this one was alive for a very short period of time. It seems like her mum hates her, I'm not gonna lie, because she went in when her mum had the baby and her mum was like saying all these gorgeous things to the baby and like saying I prayed for you, I've waited for you and all this, and completely ignoring Galantia. So Galantia obviously got upset, and her nursemaid was sort of comforting her and was taking her to the orchard, and as they were walking to the orchard there was like this door, and she was like, oh, that's, you know, that's down to the dungeons, and her nursemaid was like, you could never go down there, you know, don't go to the dungeons. And when they were coming back from the orchard, a boy had escaped from the dungeons, and as he was escaping he turned into a flock of ravens, and she said, a raven, nothing but warlocks and witches with magic as black as their plumes, father always said, and blood like pitch in their corrupted hearts. They were wayward beings, wretched, corrupt, vile. And so guards are chasing this raven boy and saying don't let him escape, and I think he kind of turned into a flock and then turned back into a boy, and Galantia toppled over a cart of apples, and the boy tripped on the apples and smacked his head on a rock and died. So yeah, this is a pretty gruesome start. The interesting part was that when the boy had fallen and smacked his head, his blood was red, not black. And also, one of the guards said the prince escaped with that evil magic of his. It appears that the boy was a prince. A very interesting start. I wonder if the prince is maybe not actually dead, because part of me feels like he could be the MMC. I don't know. That could be super far-fetched. I already feel like it's going to be quite traumatic just from how the encounter with her mum went and how mean her mum was to her. I am going to call it a night there because my eyes are really sore, so I am going to probably have an early night tonight. And as well, I will be continuing doing the audiobook as well, and I do also have it downloaded from Kindle Unlimited on my Kindle, so I have 3 potential mediums to read this from. So anyway, I will catch up with you guys the next time I have an update for you on this book. We've just been out flower picking at this flower belt. Let me show you the flowers I got. How gorgeous are these? Aren't they stunning? So they're all tulips on this like wild flower belt thing, and you go and you get a little vase and a pair of scissors and you just go and you cut whatever flowers you want. It was honestly so much fun. So we've been doing that today, but I was listening to the audiobook this morning because I got up early and I let the dogs out and I cleaned all the kitchen and I had my headphones on. I am now 18% in. I'm really liking this. I thought I knew who the love interest was going to be, but then like there's a POV chapter for a guy that I didn't think would be a love interest, but maybe he is, maybe I'm reading it wrong. Not sure who the MMC is going to be, if it's going to be a why choose. I think I know who is going to be sort of like the main love interest, but yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be a why choose if it's a why choose. So basically the bad guys all turn into ravens. Not quite sure how the magic works yet. I'm still kind of in the world building. The world building's sort of been fed like gradually. It's not been like too information dumpy, which I do really like. I'm only at chapter 8, but quite a lot has happened. It was kind of straight into it. It's been quite fast paced. So she's kind of been captured by the ravens. Basically, I've kind of come to learn that her mum and dad don't really care for her. Her mum wanted a son to provide an heir for the king, and obviously she's a princess, so not exactly what they wanted. The guy who I think is going to be the MMC is really mean. He's really, really mean. Yeah, I like that. I like a mean man. Not in real life, just in books. He has literally just taken a knife to her chest and carved his sigil into her skin. Carving her on their like second encounter is like a bit extreme, but that's why I say this feels very much like a dark romance, but make it a fantasy. I think he's the same kid from the prologue that she killed, but he obviously didn't die. He must have just been knocked out and like sort of had bad bleeding and was obviously being held captive by her dad, the king. Very, very interested to see where this goes. I feel like this is probably going to be a true enemies to lovers, and I love it when it's actually a true enemies to lovers. I'm not sure as of right now if it definitely has 5-star potential, but we are only 18% in, so we'll see. But I'm definitely enjoying it so far. Where I'm at currently, if I had to rate it right now, I would say it's like 4 stars. It's got everything so far that I like. Anyway, I just had to update you quickly because we're about to have a barbecue. We've got some people coming around, but I will catch up with you guys when I pick this up again. Hello friends. We are just about to pick up the audiobook for Feathers So Vicious again, and I'm excited to get my headphones on and get a bit of listening done because I have the whole kitchen to clean. We have all the pots left from the barbecue last night still to clean because I said 20 last night. I was like, right, let's just sit down and chill, leave the pots. I'm gonna do them tomorrow because I want to put my audiobook on. Having an audiobook and listening while I do like chores or work or things that I need to do takes away any guilt that I would normally feel for, you know, reading during the day. It's very rare that I read during the day unless I'm filming for a reading vlog, which I can kind of count as work. But other than that, unless it's an audiobook and I can multitask, I don't do any reading during the day. Anyway, let's pop our headphones on and see how much listening we can get done. The camera is like kind of hiding the worst of it. Let me just... Ooh, yeah. So I'm 20% in now, and I just got my first POV chapter for the other MMC that I think is probably going to be the main love interest. Also, I had to turn my listening speed down to listen to the MMC who voices this chapter because he has a really deep voice. I do find that if I'm listening to an audiobook and the male narrator has quite a deep voice or is putting on quite a deep voice for a character, I really have to slow it down to be able to hear what they're saying. Oh, sorry. Hay fever. This is the narrator's voice at the speed I'm listening to it.
Ask her gate to the damage. Resistance catapults must have arrived and hit the tower. They're trying to put Valterus under siege. Honor.
So it's quite, I don't know what it is about the deep voices, but it almost like blurs into one a little bit. But I cannot listen at 1 time speed. I cannot. It scratches my brain wrong. But anyway, I'm not really sure why I just gave you all that information. Maybe it's something that you want to know. Who knows? Anyway, we're going to listen to it now.
So we made it to 28%. I'm really enjoying this. The MMCs are still being very mean. I still can't figure out where this is going. All I know is I'm enjoying the ride. It's just so dark, and I really love the elements of the ravens. It's very unique. I feel like I've never read anything where people turn into ravens before, so yeah, really enjoying this. I have a few more other little jobs I need to do, and I'm gonna maybe get the dogs out for a walk if I can, so I'm gonna listen to it a little bit more while I do those things and then catch up with you guys later. Guys, this book is so spicy. And that's all I'm gonna say. I'm now 46% in. I'm gonna have to turn it off because it's literally starting to distract me from what I'm trying to do. So I think I'm gonna have to turn it off for a bit. We are flying through this. I'm 80% in. I managed to get a good chunk listened to while I did tea and while I was sort of cleaning up after tea and what have you. So we're getting there. And I have decided that I want to finish this tonight. It says I've got an hour left in the book, so I think I can do that. I'm going to go on my walking pad for an hour and try finish this, or I'll maybe stop before I get quite to the end and see if I can read the end with you guys. Yeah, this is so good. I think it's on its way to achieving the 5-star goal. I was confused at one point. I was like, wait, is it love triangle? Oh wait, is it what I choose? Oh wait, no. To me, there's a very obvious choice in the love triangle, and I fear that the other choice is probably gonna die. I don't know, just patterns that I notice. When you read a lot of books, you notice patterns. But anyway, from the beginning, this has been my theory. Pretty much when he was first introduced, that he was going to be the one that would die. I love when a love triangle is done well, and you know it's done well if you equally like both of the love interests. And I'd say I'm definitely leaning more towards one of them, obviously the Mina one. But I do really like both of them, and that is how you know a love triangle has been done well. That's just my thoughts and feelings right now. So anyway, we're going to get on the walking pad and we're going to try and get this finished. At 97%, so I jumped off the walking pad and I thought we'll finish it together. Now I feel like everything's about to go horribly wrong. We shall see. Okay, that was actually worse than I thought it was gonna be. But also at the very end as well, there was something revealed that I did theorize early on when sort of something was mentioned, which is really exciting and makes me really want to pick up the next book. But the bit leading up to that was rough. Yeah, that was hard to read. I think I just need a minute to compose my thoughts and feelings, and I will get back to you with my rating and review. Okay, so Feathers So Vicious by Liv Zander. Did this live up to the 5-star prediction? Absolutely it did, without a doubt. 5 stars for me. I've just written up my review on Goodreads, and so I'm gonna read my review to you because there's a lot to unpack, and obviously I don't want to give any spoilers. So typically when I review my books on Goodreads, I don't do any spoilers, and if I do, I turn it on so that it hides the review unless you want to see spoilers. So I wrote, okay, where do I start? This was dark, so there is a lot of heavy themes in this book that are on page, so I would recommend checking out the trigger warnings if you think that you could potentially be triggered by some of the things in this. There's quite a lot of essay, non-con, and some really horrible torture scenes on page as well. But with that being said, I found this really addictive. I found it very intriguing. I found that my jaw was on the floor a lot, and also it was incredibly spicy. Now I appreciate that this kind of spice is not going to be for everyone. So like I mentioned before, the love triangle has been done really well because you do find yourself being drawn to both love interests, and also the character dynamic between the three of them really kept me hooked. And honestly, I just couldn't get enough of the dynamic between the three of them, and yeah, I ate it up. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of dark themes in this book, and there's a lot of trauma and horrible, awful things that have happened to these characters. So our characters in this book are all quite deeply broken from really horrible, awful, traumatic experiences, which really does pull quite complex feelings from you when you're reading things like this, because you can sort of understand the characters. They're quite complex, and there's things that have happened to them that make them the way they are, and you can sort of understand their motives and actions even if you don't always agree with them. Malir, who was the prince, like the shadow daddy of the book, he was very volatile, he was very vengeful, and he was absolutely full of rage. And then Sabian, our other MMC, was kind of like a spicy cinnamon roll. Not a complete cinnamon roll, but he wasn't like super soft, but he had like a strong urge to protect Galantia, our FMC, but that urge to protect definitely speaks to his trauma and his experiences, which is a whole other thing. And Galantia, I did quite like her. She's very naive due to her sheltered upbringing, and she's very desperate and seeking of love because love has been withheld from her whole life.
Hi, book girlies.
Hi. Eddie just got back from the gym, so I need to wrap this up quickly. This was an easy 5 stars for me, and I absolutely need to pick up the next book immediately. And I love that this is a duology, because I feel like I've read so many books recently that are the first in a series and it's an incomplete series, or I've got to read 5 books, I've got to read 6 books. This is so nice that it's just a duology, and I know that when I read the next book, that's the story done. So I'm definitely going to pick up the next one, probably straight away. But anyway, I will catch up with you guys when we pick up the next book for this reading vlog.
Hello guys, it is finally time to pick up our next book for this reading vlog, and this will probably be the last book we read in this reading vlog as well. Now, this book is probably one of my most anticipated reads of the year, and the book in question is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, and this is my absolutely gorgeous Fairyloot edition. I actually was lucky enough to go to the printers and watch this book being printed, and it was just literally the best experience ever. It was so interesting. It was like a book lover's dream, honestly. And this was, I would say it was like 6 months before these shipped out. I felt so lucky, and obviously I couldn't share this with you guys before then. So this is my gorgeous copy, and of course we will have a quick look at all the details on this. So this is the front of the cover, the back, the edges. For me, this is like my perfect book. I think this is probably one of the most gorgeous editions Fairyloot have ever done. It's like gothic but soft, and I just absolutely adore it. So let's take this dust jacket off. How gorgeous. The silver foiling as well. Oh, it's just so beautiful. And then the art on the inside. Oh, it is just absolutely stunning, and I am so excited to read this. I do also have a standard hard copy edition of The Night and the Moth, and whenever a paperback is released, I will definitely grab a paperback. I was kindly sent the standard hardback edition by the publisher, so I always have a copy of this, and I think for a traditionally published cover, this is absolutely gorgeous. I love the art on this. I just think it's absolutely stunning. It's probably one of my favourite traditionally published covers ever. For this reading vlog though, I probably won't be reading either of these because I also got a e-arc from the publishers as well. So I have that. However, with it being an arc, it's quite difficult to read on Kindle because you can't skip between chapters. It's just kind of one big document, if that makes sense. And on top of that, I have also bought the audio because it's literally just released, and I immediately bought the audiobook as well because I want to do the audio alongside reading. So I think if I have any time where I can sit and read physically, I'll probably pick this up. However, this gorgeous copy is going back on my shelf to stay as pristine and gorgeous as possible. I would absolutely love the chance to meet Rachel one day and take this and have it signed. That would be absolutely amazing. So until that day, this book is probably going to stay on my shelf. So I am going to go make myself a drink, and then we will get comfy and read a chapter or two of The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, and then I need to get on with some jobs for the day, so I will put my headphones on and continue to listen to the audiobook.
Oh, I don't know why, but I just got goosebumps. Rachel Gillig's writing literally will do it for me every single time. I am obsessed with her writing style. I just think it's so poetic and magical and whimsical. I've literally only read one page, the prologue. I'm already like, oh my god, I can't wait to read this. I need to calm down because I've literally read one page of the prologue and that's it. So we're starting chapter 1 now. Okay. We have read the first chapter. So far, I am super, super intrigued. I already feel like I'm going to love this just based on how she's set the scene. Currently, the setting is in a big cathedral abbey type thing. There's 6 of these diviners and they're the ones that wear the gossamer cloth across their eyes. And they do something called dreaming. We've not got into that yet. We're about to, I think. I think essentially they'll be kind of like oracles that will maybe give prophecies or something. FMC is 6, so they don't have names. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and FMC is 6. So I'm very intrigued and interested to see where this is going to go. I love Rachel's writing so much. It is just so gorgeous. So I will be continuing this with the audiobook for the rest of the day, and I will let you know how much I get read today and how I get on. Okay, we are now on chapter 6. I have no idea where this story is going to go, but currently the divines are all sneaking out to go to the village, and I can only sense that it's going to go badly, something's going to happen, and then the story is going to kind of start from there. But as of right now, I quite literally have no idea where this story is going.
Good morning, guys. Just a quick check-in. I'm currently sat in my car at the train station. I'm heading down to London today because I'm going to an event with Daniel L. Jensen, which is super exciting. I'm going with Fairy Lou. I will probably read a little bit of The Night and the Moth on the train down there because I've got like 2 hours there, 2 hours back. It's not anything like I would expect it to be. That's all I'm going to say. I'll update you properly next time I pick up the book.
Somebody tells a lie, disrespecting my boundaries, acting like they don't care about me. Yeah. Call it out really early, let them know that they just can't hurt me, and pretend like it just did.
We made it back safe and sound. I got a lot of reading done today. I finished one of the other books I was reading, which is Beg the Night by Emily Blackwood, and I actually rated that 4.5 stars. I absolutely devoured that. It was sort of like dark dystopian romance. The plot was so good, and it was such a good slow burn. I think it's the first book of a series. I don't know how many books are going to be in the series, but book 1, wow, it was really, really good. It exceeded my expectations and I really, really, really loved it. But anyway, I will do a full review for that one in my reading wrap up. So before we get into The Night and the Moth, I thought we could go through what I got today at the Daniel L. Jensen event, because I was very lucky and there was a goodie bag. So this is the bag. I actually have one of these totes already from when Del Rey sent me a copy of Fate Inked in Blood when it came out in paperback form. So this is the tote. On the back it has a quote on it from the book. On the table there was this little box and it says runes on it, and it says unlock the secrets of the stones. So very much fitting the vibe, the Viking vibe. If you haven't read A Fate Inked in Blood, you absolutely should, because it is so good. I feel like it's really underrated. I have no idea why, because I had such a fun time reading it. First sort of Viking vibes book I'd ever read, and yeah, it was 4.5 stars for me. I ate it up. Anyway, in here we have some little pebbles and a little book, and I think you maybe read the runes, sort of like a bit of like a reading sort of witchy vibe. Love that. And then there was also these cute little bookmarks. How nice is that? Then they gave us a copy of A Fate Inked in Blood, a paperback one. So I didn't take mine with me, so I went and got this one signed. And because I already have a copy of this, I thought it would be maybe a nice idea to send my other copy and the tote bag to one of you guys if you guys would like a copy. Obviously I got this one signed today, the other one's not signed or anything, so I'd be more than happy to send it to one of you guys if you would like it. However, this will only be open to people who live in the UK, I'm afraid. If you would like my other copy, please let me know in the comments, and it'll just be first come first served, and I'll just post that out to you. So there was this, and like I said, I got this signed. Also, I took my Fairy Loot edition of the book. This was actually my first Fairy Loot book box that I ever got, because I was on the wait list for literally like a year, and I'm lucky enough to be an ambassador now, but back in the day, this is one of the first ones I ever got. So this one is special to me, and it is absolutely stunning. Like, you cannot tell me that that is not the most gorgeous fan art ever. How stunning. That was at FMC and MMC, by the way. This one was already signed when it was delivered. However, I wanted to get it signed and personalised because I loved the book, like I said. So I got her to sign this one for me as well. And then when the second book released, I was sent a copy of that. This is A Curse Carved in Bone. The hardcovers, I think, are so stunning, and the art on them is just gorgeous. So anyway, I took my copy, and again, I got another one at the event. So I'd actually gone and picked up my copy. My sister-in-law was borrowing it because she was going to read it. So what I thought, how about I get it signed for her and then give it back to her and then just say, look, keep it. So I got one signed for me and I got one signed for my sister-in-law. Now we're matching. There was also a bookmark which has seen better days. It's a little bit bent, and a little sticker patch thingy. What a lovely little package, I thought. I'm very excited to read this, because book one was so good. I just know that this one is also going to be good. I do really like Danielle's writing, and I have read the first book in the Bridge Kingdom series, and I do plan to continue that at some point because I did really enjoy that as well. I did actually have another delivery today as well while I was out, and funnily enough, it was one of my Fairy Loot books. Now this, guys, is a very exciting package. This is the first ever Fairy Loot epic fantasy box. So these aren't monthly like all the other book subscription boxes that they do. These ones are quarterly. This is the first one, and I do know what this book is because when I saw The Night and the Moth being printed, this was also there being printed. So I know exactly what this is, and I have seen the dust jackets, I've seen the edges, but I have not seen the naked hardcover, and it wasn't like up close and personal, you know, like I just saw it on the table and I was like, is that what I think it is? Anyway, I think we should open this together. I did say to myself that 2025 was going to be the year that I really got myself into epic fantasy, because the only epic fantasy that I have read, and I don't know if this counts as epic fantasy, I think it does, is Empire of the Vampire, and I did actually soft DNF it. I did. I was definitely intrigued, but it was just like, you could really tell it was written by a man. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could just tell it was written by a man, and I love books written by women. I want to support women. I love women. Yeah, you could just tell by some of like the language used around like women, and like just, and I'm sure this is maybe what men feel like when they read books written by women. So I don't know. I will probably pick it back up again at some point, but it's definitely not super high on my list. So it was a soft DNF. So the theme for the first epic fantasy box was Sinners and Saints. You guys ready? How cool is this? So this is The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. I know nothing about this. All I know is that it's epic fantasy. And I am very intrigued because, like I said, I do want to start my epic fantasy journey. And what a better way to start than with a Fairy Loot book. So let's see what the naked hardcover looks like, because I haven't seen that. This is so cool. I think it's really cool that they're branching out to sort of reach a slightly different audience. I think this will probably interest quite a lot of high fantasy readers. Prior to now, they didn't cater to that market, so I think it's very exciting, and they'll probably gain like a much wider audience from this. So that says the Holy City. Back. Wow, that is the city of Troy. Do you know another book that I really, really want to read and has been on my TBR for the longest time is Red Rising. I kind of know what the story's about because I've heard loads of people talk about it because it's such a popular book. The story and the premise of the story really intrigues me, and I think I will really enjoy it. Honestly, I can't tell you why I've put it off for this long. I really want to read it, and I think they have a graphic audio, and I love a graphic audio, so I may put that in my TBR for next month, maybe. We'll see. Anyway, guys, The Night and the Moth. We are 79% in. So I have actually been really bad at updating you on this, but I feel like with this one, there's not been loads to update you on without sort of telling you exactly what's happening and therefore kind of spoiling it. I haven't been able to update you too much, but I will share with you some of the quotes that I've highlighted today, because I've highlighted quite a lot today, so I'll just pick a few of my favorite ones. Let's see. Okay, this one had me giggling a little bit. You want to throw me down, and I, prideful, disdainful, godless, want to drag you into the dirt with me. Okay. Oh, I'm blushing. Right, another one. This one. Her care came with conditions. You bent yourself to fit them, and now you see yourself as this terrible burden, like you're nothing if you're not the best, the most useful version of yourself. Oof. Yeah, I know I've probably said it a million times during this vlog, but Rachel Gillig's writing is just so good. I'm gonna go grab myself some water, and I think, to be honest, we will probably finish this book tonight. It says I have 48 minutes left in the book, so Eddie's out tonight. It is currently 8 p.m. I think we can get this done. I've been extra bougie, and I've put a slice of lemon in my water as well. Let's do some reading. The point at where I stopped earlier, I was literally right in the middle of a steamy scene. This is definitely, I would say, more plot driven than romance driven, and I'm very much enjoying the plot, so let's just get back into it. Oh my god, that ending. So I'd guessed one of the plot twists for sure. The second plot twist I had a theory on, and although it kind of came to pass, it did not come to pass how I thought it would, and it was very shocking. I feel a little bit sick. I think I know what I want to rate this, but I'm going to take some time, gather my thoughts, and I will catch up with you probably first thing in the morning. Good morning, guys. I've made myself a coffee. I'm gonna sit with you now and discuss my thoughts and feelings on this, and then I'm actually gonna go and film, because today is actually the 1st of June. So I'm so happy that I managed to finish this last night, because that meant that I can get it into my May wrap up. So, thoughts, feelings. I am going to give this a very solid 4.5 stars. I am just obsessed with how naturally the sort of poetic and lyrical and magical writing flows from Rachel Gillig. The only other author that I have read that I would say has a similar writing style is Sarah A. Parker. I feel like they both have such a beautiful and unique writing style. The only reason I would say this wasn't quite 5 stars for me was just because I did find it a teeny bit slow in some points, but only slightly, because I did find the plot and the story so interesting, so intriguing. I thought the world she built was very atmospheric. The belief and the magic system that she implemented was very unique, and the romance in this was definitely a subplot. lot, but it was very fun. It definitely wasn't at the forefront of the book, so please don't go into this expecting it to be like a romantasy, but I was probably most invested in the side character, which was the gargoyle, and I'm pretty sure that anybody who reads this will also feel the same. He calls everybody Bartholomew, and I've literally been walking around the past few days calling people Bartholomew in my head because it's just in my head now. Yeah, I loved him. He was so funny. He provided a lot of humor throughout the story, which I know a lot of people weren't expecting going into this book. And also that ending, oh, that is definitely one that can go down in my list of sort of endings that made me feel a little bit sick. Like, I actually was gagged. Other books I would say that have had endings that have made me feel that way would be like Metal Slinger, Serpent and the Wings of Night, Shadow Princess. Yeah, it was like, I was stressed reading the ending. I really was. But yeah, very good book. Unfortunately, not quite a 5 stars, but very, very close. And yeah, I'm just obsessed with Rachel's writing. She is definitely an author by author for me. And also, this Stunning Fairy edition is literally everything to me. But I think that marks the 4th and final book for this reading vlog. I've honestly lost count because I've been filming this over quite some time. What books have we read? We read On Wings of Blood, we read Direbound, Feathers So Vicious, and The Night in the Moth. Also, I don't know if I mentioned, I think when I was reading Feathers So Vicious, I was like, I don't know if this is Why Choose or if it's Love Triangle. It is Why Choose, by the way. And I don't know how I didn't know that going into it, but yeah, so. And also, I did go on and read Shadow So Cruel after finishing Feathers So Vicious and loved that as well. It's going down as one of my favorite duologies ever. I loved that so much. It was such a difficult read at points, but so, so good. If I had to pick a favorite book from this reading vlog, it would definitely be a tie between Direbound and Feathers So Vicious because those two were just chef's kiss. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate you being here, and let me know if there are any books that you would really love to see me read in a reading vlog, and also if you'd be interested in a reading vlog where there is spoilers, because I personally wouldn't watch one that had spoilers in it, but also I know that some people do like that. So if you would like a spoiler reading vlog, let me know. And other than that, I hope you have a lovely day, evening, whatever you are doing, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.